Hi guys, welcome back. I figured that I would come on and do a yoga video today. It's been a while. As you can see, I'm outside in a park, so if it's nice where you are, feel free to take this outside. It always is a little bit more grounding when you're outside in nature. Normally I would have music, but I don't today, so feel free to put some music on the background. And this practice is going to be more of an intermediate, I would say. So maybe people who are a little bit more active, it's going to be a little bit more of a faster pace flow in the beginning, and we'll finish off with a deep stretch. Don't worry about what's going on my face. I had some acupuncture done, so we're just going to ignore that. And yeah, so I would say anybody can try this video. It might be a little bit too advanced for people who aren't very familiar with yoga, but those who are, you can do it if you're an amputee, if you have a disability or not. I'll try and modify it as much as I can so that anybody can do it. So yeah, come and join me on your mat. And we'll start in a seated position today. So just crossing the legs, bringing the hands to the knees or the legs, closing the eyes. And start to settle into your mat. Start to notice your breath. Starting to soften the shoulders, soften the belly, softening the jaw. Just noticing what's present within the body. Maybe you feel some tension somewhere in the body. And just sending some love to that space. Taking a deep breath in through the belly, maybe bringing a hand to the belly. Inhale. Exhale, sighing it out, letting it go. Feeling the belly drop. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, feel the belly expand in your hand. Exhale, letting it drop. Good. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Good. We're going to come into a child's pose, and we'll set our intentions in our child's pose. So come to the back of your mat. For those of you who have 2 legs, toes together, knees outwards. For those of you like me, you'll just do that with the 1 leg, whichever one it is, and you'll reach the arms forward, bringing your forehead down to the mat. Good. Maybe you start to rock the forehead from side to side. I'm just starting to wake up the third eye. Noticing if you feel the stretch in your ankles. And taking a moment to set your intention for your practice. What is it that you want to cultivate throughout your practice? How do you want to feel at the end of your practice? And holding that intention in the heart space. And allowing yourself to come back to that intention when the mind wanders. Good, let's take 3 breaths here. Good, slowly we're going to roll up into a tabletop position. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Again, if you are an amputee, you'll just be on that 1 knee. And we're going to start with just a couple cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine, drop the head. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, round the shoulders, drop the head. Make this one even deeper. Good. 1 more inhale. This one's going to be slower than you want. Really feeling the heart expand. Exhale, round. Good, come back to center. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to add some core here. So as we inhale, drop the belly, lift the head, lift the chest. Come into your cow pose. As you exhale, coming into your cat pose, curl the toes or one toe under, and around the spine. Lift the knee or knees off the ground, about an inch off the ground. We're going to hold here. Starting to activate that core. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Drop the knees, come back to neutral. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, round cat, curl the toes over. Hold. Lift that knee off the ground. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Drop the knee. Come back to neutral. Now we're going to come back to a neutral spine. We're going to do that same movement. So we're going to curl the toes under, lift the knee an inch off the mat, hold. Now, if you have your one amputated leg, we're going to bring it behind you and we're going to start to pulse it up. So we want to really start to engage that side of the glutes that might not get as much work. And we're going to pulse. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back onto the knees. Good. You're starting to feel a little sweat. So we're going to come right into a plank from here. So we're going to curl the toes under, straighten both knees. Good. Keep the spine long. Now, for those of you who have amputations, it's going to be harder. We're doing one leg plank. So let's hold, feeling it in the shoulder blades, keeping the body long, making sure the glutes are in a parallel position here. Good, hold. For 3, for 2, for 1, lift the hips, come into your down dog. Good, so we're coming into our upside down V shape. Again, you can do this with one leg or with 2. Now the goal is to draw the heel or the heels down to the mat while lifting the hips up. At the same time, we want to really make sure that our chest is being guided towards the mat. Keeping that spine long rather than rounded. Good, hold. Let's take 3 deep breaths. We're going to start to flow. This might be harder for those of you who are not wearing their prosthetics. We're going to inhale, lift the heel or heels, bend the knees, jump, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Good. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Really testing our balance here. Inhale, lift the hands up overhead. Whoop, see? Exhale, hands to heart center, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, jump or step back to your plank. Good. We're going to hold for 3, for 2, for 1, chaturanga, bend the elbows, stopping at halfway. Good. Inhale, roll over the toes or toes, lift the chest, upward dog, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale, curl the toes or toe under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good, deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. Good, sink into your down dog a little more. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or jump back to your plank. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. This time we're going to come into a chaturanga, bend the elbow, stopping halfway. Hold for 3, for 2, For 1. Good. Inhale, roll over the toes, upward dog. Exhale, curl over the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth, sinking in. Good. Let's do 2 more like this. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, jumper step. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. My shins are starting to burn, and by shins I mean calves. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or jump to a plank. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and we're going to come into our chaturanga, and we're going to hold chaturanga dandasana. Stop it halfway, hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, roll over the toes, upward dog. Exhale, lift the hips, curl the toes under. Downward facing dog, deep breath in. Exhale out. Last one, we're going to speed it up a little. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, jumper step. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, fold forward, flat back. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back into your plank, and we're going to hold this time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. We're going to do the same thing. Hold down here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, roll over the toes, lift the chest, upward dog. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good job. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, jumper step to the middle of your mat. We're going to just come into a forward fold for a moment. So a couple options. You can have the hands down on your mat, or if you have a block or something to place your hands on, you can do that. For those of you who really want to challenge your balance, you can actually bring your hands to your ankle or your calf. But for me, I think I'm going to have my hands on the mat and just let my head fall, really letting the shoulder blades fall into the ears here. And just, you might swing your head. Maybe you shake your head yes and no. This just allows you to let go of the tension in the neck and the shoulders. Getting us into our parasympathetic mode, our rest and digest. And let's take 3 breaths. Good. From where you are, whichever leg you do have is going to stay down on the mat. The other one is going to lift up. Okay, so we're going to come into our standing split. Now we want to make sure that our hips are squared towards our mat here. We're going to start with having our hands on the mat. So I'll give you guys a couple of different options. Option 1, hands can stay on the mat. Option 2, if you want to challenge your balance, you can bring your hands to your ankle, maybe behind. You can interlace the hands behind the calf. Really starting to feel that glute turn on. Hold wherever you are for 3 deep breaths. Good. Now we're going to lift. We're going to keep the right hand down on the ground, and we're going to lift the left hand up towards the sky. So again, if you have an opposite amputation, this is just going to be, you're going to change the arm. So it's opposite hand to opposite leg. Good. Coming into our reversed half moon here. Find your balance and hold. 3 deep breaths. Good. Now we're going to switch. So for me, it's going to be left hand down, right arm up towards the sky. And we want to draw that right shoulder blade back so that it's like one straight line from the left hand all the way up to the right arm, opening the hips up towards the side. So again, if you have an opposite amputation, it's going to be the opposite for you. So it's going to be the right hand down, left arm up. Good. Let's hold 3 deep breaths. Good. Coming back into your standing split, we're going to bend the knees and come to a seated. Let's take a deep breath. Take some water if you need. Now we're going to come into a second set. Just for those of you who might want to do the opposite side, if that's available to you. For me, I'm just going to do the same side again. So depending on your situation. Okay, so let's meet back in our forward fold to start. And then we're going to come into our standing split. So lift that amputated leg. Good. And same options, you might change this time. So hands to the mat, to the ankle, to the shin, or interlace behind the calf. And challenge yourself here. Hold. Feeling the burn for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Bring the right hand down, left arm up. So we're coming into this twisted motion here. Opposite hand down to opposite leg. Keeping those shoulder blades stacked on top of each other. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's drop the left hand down, right arm up, opening the hips towards the side. Stack the shoulder blades. Find your balance. For 3, for 2, for 1. Come back to your standing split. Good. We're going to bend the knees and come into a seated. We're going to come right into a boat pose. So knees can be bent at 90, reaching the arms forward, or legs can be straight. So having legs straight is a little bit harder. So doing whatever feels good in the body. We're just going to hold, engaging that core. 3, 2, 1. Now, for me here, I'm going to bend the knee. Now I'm just going to tap my toe and lift. Tap and lift. Good. Tap and tap. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm just going to switch over so you guys can see. You can do this with the amputated leg too. So we're going to tap lower and lift, lower and lift. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to alternate. So left and right. Tap left and right. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Just going to switch over here. Straightening the legs. Now coming to a hollow hold. So hovering the toes, hovering the arms off the mat, keeping that core engaged here, keeping the head lifted. Hold. Now we're going to flutter the legs. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower down. Deep breath in. Let it all go. Sinking your lower back, your upper back, your entire back body on the mat. Let's do one more like that. Inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Good, we're gonna come into our bridge from here. So, for those of you who are working with one leg, this is gonna be a little more challenging. For those of you who have two, I'm gonna bend the knees, bringing the feet down to the mat. Now we're gonna push into the heels, lifting the hips up off the mat. Now, again, for those of you who have amputations, this is going to be hard to keep the hips in balance. So we want to look and make sure they're in line with each other. Good. You can use your hands to push the floor, push off the floor, lifting those glutes, squeezing those glutes. Good. Now, for some of you who are a little more flexible, want a little bit of a shoulder stretch, you can bring the shoulder blades underneath the mat, interlacing the hands underneath you, and this will help you push up even more. Hold. Good. Unlock the hands. Now we're going to we're going to lower to a hover and lift the hips. Hover and lift. Good. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Now lift up even higher for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower down, straightening the legs, so hovering the legs now off the mat. Okay, now we're going to lift the head off the mat, reaching the arms forward, coming back into our hollow hold here. Fluttering the legs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to come in back into our high boat. Lift all the way up. Woo. Bend the knees to 90 or straight hold. 3, 2, 1. Good. You can cross the legs. I'm going to come onto the belly however you need to get there. I'm going to grab some water. Definitely feeling this one today. Now, should have said this in the beginning, but please take breaks whenever you need to. If something doesn't feel good in the body, don't do it or modify. Now coming right back onto the belly. We're going to reach the arms forward. Good. So from here, we're going to just lift the arms up off the mat, drawing the elbows in, lifting the chest even higher. Now we're going to keep the legs on the mat. That's the hard part. Keeping the toe or toes on the mat, squeezing the glutes. Now for those of you who are working with an amputated leg, this is going to be harder to keep that leg on the mat, but it's good because we're going to really squeeze that glute, working that glute here. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Now you can lift the legs off the mat, draw the legs in towards each other, squeeze like you're squeezing something in between the legs. Good. Now we're going to reach forward and bend elbows, lift the chest. Good. Forward and lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2, stick with the breath. Last one. Holds for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. You can lower down. And just resting your head on the hands. Letting the heartbeat slow down. Just noticing the rate of your heart. And we're going to start to slow down the practice now. So the hard work is done. Yay. We're just going to enjoy a nice deep stretch now. So let's bring the forearms down to the mat, keeping the chest lifted. Now we're going to lower the head down here. So you're going to get a nice little neck stretch here. And this is going to stretch the shoulder blades and the upper back, keeping those hips grounded on the mat here. Let's take 5 breaths at your own pace. Now, in the slower movements, the mind usually, that's when it starts to really activate. So can you come back to your intention? Can you come back to your breath, your heartbeat? Good. Slowly, we're just going to push into the hands, lifting the chest. So we're coming into our upward dog here. We'll curl the toes, lift the hips, come into our down dog. Just as a transition, we're going to come into pigeon. So I'm going to start with my amputated leg, meaning that I'm not doing pigeon the way it's meant to be done with this leg. So we're going to lift that leg, whichever it is. For me, it's the right. As we exhale, I'm just going to bring it down to the mat, dropping my hips down and tucking the back toes. So I'm just going to show you guys how it looks on the other side. So it'll be the knee behind the wrist, shin parallel to the top of your mat. Back leg is dropped down to the mat. We're really aiming for a nice little hip stretch here. So this is what it's going to look like when you are using your full leg. For me here, because I'm using my amputated leg, it's going to look more like the splits here, which is okay. So I'm just working on bringing that left hip flexor down here. Again, yoga isn't meant to be perfect. The postures aren't meant to be perfect. It's just supposed to feel good in your body. Especially for us amputees or people with disabilities, we might not have all the same benefits, and we might not be able to do all the postures the way that able-bodied people can do them. So we just modify and make it work for us. And that's all that matters. So from here, you might bring your forearms down to the mat. Good. Now, if you want to come even further, you might bring your belly to the mat, reaching the arms forward. This is just for people who are pretty flexible. I've been practicing yoga for a long time, so for me, this is what feels good in my body, but it might not feel good in yours. So please listen to your body. If it feels good to have your hands on the mat, please do that. Continuing to breathe. Good. Let's take 5 more breaths here. And slowly we'll push up into the hands. And we're just going to sit onto the hips, swing the leg around. So switching legs here, I'm having my left foot forward now. And I'm going to bring that left knee over to the left side, the left foot over to the right, shins parallel, and I'm just going to pop that right leg down under. So again, the same idea of drawing that right hip down, but this time now we're getting a nice stretch in the left hip as well. So having that left foot flexed here. So same options, we can have the hands on the mat, keeping the body long. We can bring the forearms down to the mat, or we can reach the arms forward, dropping the chest, belly down to the mat. Maybe you bring your forehead down. And just noticing how this side feels in comparison to the other side. How can you deepen your relaxation into this pose? How can you let go a little more? Noticing if any part of your body is clenching. Can you breathe into that part, letting go? With every inhale, filling up, every exhale, grounding deeper. Three more breaths here. Good. We're going to push into the hands. Lift the chest up. Swing the legs around. You're going to reach the legs forward. Good. Coming into a forward fold. So as we inhale, we're going to reach the hands up. As we exhale, we're going to reach the hands towards the foot or feet, keeping the foot flexed. So we can grab onto the foot, the ankle, the shin. We can have the hands on the mat. This is for a more active pose. So for a more active pose, we're going to keep the spine long, keeping the head up. And this will just give you a nice stretch along the back of the calf, the hamstring. Now, if you want a more passive version, and this is what I prefer, you're going to bring the forearms down to the mat, palms facing up. We're going to round the spine, drop the head, and you can kind of point the toe, or you can just let it hang, and just let the head hang. So this, you still will feel a nice stretch here along the back. And you can just modify this for however you want. So if you want to reach the hands a little farther forward to get even more of a stretch, you can. This is for those of you who are a little more flexible. For others, you might just be right here with the head dropped. Whatever feels good. And just noticing as your breath deepens here. Can you feel that your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, is turned on? Can you feel a shift in your energy? Just noticing as we start to come to the end of our practice. Three more breaths. Let's slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly, slowly letting the head come up last. Good. Lift the shoulder blades, draw them down. I'm just going to shift towards you so you can see. I'm going to do a butterfly. For me, I'm just going to have that 1 foot in, and I'm going to draw it in as close as I can to myself, letting the knee fall outwards. This leg is just kind of going to hang here. And I'm going to push on my knee here. And so then I can really feel that stretch in the groin area. And this is going to be an active butterfly. So maybe you let the knees come up and down. If you have 2 legs, you're just going to do the same exact motion, but with 2 legs. Good. 3 breaths like this. Good. We're going to come on to our back for our final Savasana. Get comfy. So if you have a pillow or a bolster that you like to use underneath the knees, feel free to grab that. Grab some water if you need. Slowly make your way onto your back, bringing the knees into chest. Interlacing the fingers over the knees, drawing them in. So the goal is to feel potentially your belly on your thighs. And this is what we're guiding our knees towards. Maybe we rock from side to side here. And this will just give you a nice little lower back massage. And then whenever you're ready, come into your final Shavasana. Let the legs come out long. Let the arms come out long, palms facing the sky. Taking a deep breath in. Audible exhale. Letting go of the practice. And starting to feel every part of the body on the ground or the mat. Maybe the grass if you're outside. From your feet. Feeling your legs on the ground. Your glutes, your lower back. Your upper back. Your shoulder blades. Grounding your arms, your hands, your fingertips. Feeling your neck, letting your head be heavy on the ground. Parting your lips, unclenching your jaw, relaxing your forehead. Relaxing every muscle in the face. Just taking a moment to come back to your intention from the beginning of your practice. What was it that you wanted to cultivate throughout your practice? How did you want to feel? And just closing off our practice by reigniting that intention and bringing that intention with us throughout the rest of our day, week maybe. And taking a moment of gratitude for this practice, for your body for being able to support you throughout these movements, throughout this practice, and for yourself for showing up on your mat. Maybe bringing your hands to your heart, or one hand to the heart, the other to the belly. Really connecting with yourself here. Thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. I hope that your body feels rejuvenated and rested. We're slowly going to come onto either side into a fetal position, moving your body so super slow. Knees into chest, laying on your forearm. Pushing into your arms, lifting up to a seated. Just bringing your hands to your heart. Bowing the head, namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you liked this practice, please feel free to like and subscribe and maybe send to somebody who might benefit from this. Also, open to any ideas or any practices that people might want. So yeah, comment below. Let me know how you liked it. Let me know how you're feeling. And thank you so much for joining. See you next time.